I'm Richard Wearmouth and I'm the Cabinet Member for the Economy and the local councillor for Kirkhill Ward here in Morpeth.
Now today we've reached the latest stage in updating people about the Morpeth Masterplan. Can you just tell us where we're at in that process now?
Yeah, absolutely. So every few months we try to get back and give people a bit of an update to make sure people know what's going on in the town and where we're headed. So today we've got an update specifically on the Chantry and some of the services that we might like to see in there and some of the work that we would like to do on the building. We've also got the new Chief Executive for Active Northumberland here, who is the person responsible for leisure centres across the county, and he's going to be able to provide a little bit of feedback on the preliminary works looking at what we can do with the leisure centre and leisure services more generally in Morpeth. And as well taking feedback about people want to see how people want to see that evolve and in the coming months and years.
Can you tell us in a little bit more detail about what's proposed for the Chantry, which began in its life has been all sorts of different things?
Absolutely. Well, it's been there for the best part of 1,000 years, and it's had various incarnations during that time. But presently, of course, it houses the Bagpipe Museum, the Poetry Library, tourist information bits and pieces, as well as a number of traders and crafts and so on. And what we really want to know is that what people feel is best use of the building? Are there other services that we could provide from there? Is the offering what they expect when they get there? And really just opening up that question with people. It's something that we started talking a little bit with traders about recently and how their experiences of the current situation and what we might do in the future.
And one of the main things that you have in mind is the idea of moving the library service there, is that correct?
Yes, and that's been something that successive council administrations have put into the mix, and it's something that would be logical. It's very much a beautiful and historic building, as everyone knows, and yet do people access it as much as they would like? It would be nice to see it put right firm and centre in Morpeth daily lives. For residents, so that it can be appreciated to the maximum.
It's also home to two quite unusual things, one of which is the Bagpipe Museum, and the other being the National Poetry Library. What would happen to those under new proposals?
I don't think that there's a decided position yet on what would happen with them, whether they would be located there, whether people feel they would be better located somewhere else within the town or within the county, or what have you. This is the way that we try to do business, is not to predetermine something, but to put ideas to members of the public and ask for their views and opinions, and then reflect on those, come back and say what we intend to do.
And what about the stallholders? What's the initial reaction you've had from people in the craft centre?
We had a good discussion here in the town hall about a month or so ago now. We got a lot of feedback about how they use the facilities that exist. Some people may decide that actually they could rationalise what they have there already or rotate it a bit more. That they had particular views as well on the position that they occupy in the building. There was feedback that maybe they would like to be more front of shop rather than out at the back if they were staying within the building. And so we've taken a lot of that on board, and we're going to listen to what people have got to say here today about the other things that we could put in the building if that's the direction we head. And we'll see how everyone can fit in. And I'm quite confident that we'll probably get a good position on that for everybody.
And can you just tell us briefly what the current state of play is on sites like the former library site and one or two of the other sites which have become eyesores in Morpeth over the years? Yeah,
absolutely. So the current situation with what we're calling the terrace, for want of a better name, that's where the former library was and where the Willows and Beachfield is. We had a number of people that put proposals in to us from when tenders closed for the site, and that wasn't so long ago now. We've been filtering through those. We have some people that we've wanted to talk to subsequently, and what would have been really nice is if we'd had a little bit more time before the summer holidays, we might have been able to share some feedback with the public on what came in. But that's come just a bit too soon, and so we want to spend a bit more time talking with the various interested parties to see if we can get a good, credible offer that then we can bring and show the public next time. When it comes to the other sites, people will recall that Benfield, that Sonic were here last time with Benfield, and I know they've made some progress in the last few months, and they were really appreciative of the feedback that they got back from people at the last time. They've gone away and they're tailoring their designs accordingly. The Queen's Head, I had a good meeting with them just a short few weeks ago, and people may see a little bit of activity at the back of the Queen's Head now as they start to strip out some of what's in there now in preparation for their new venue, which hopefully will open in the autumn as they said last time.
And what about the drawing together of the eventual timetable? When, now we're still talking, when will people see things actually come into fruition?
It's all of this is a bit evolving, and everything's on a different timeline, so we need to work out what we're going to do with library services sooner than not. That's something that's a significant priority for us, just because of how things are with the existing building and so on. We have the refurbishment of County Hall that's already started, and that will go on over a number of years. The leisure offering in Morpeth, we would hope would emerge in the coming months towards the end of this year, that we'll have a bit of an idea as to what we would be offering by way of leisure facilities. You'll see that Kevy's in today, and they've got a whole different thing that they bring into the equation. So everything's on a bit of a different timeline. We also have, if people are down today having a look, we've got some bits and pieces on what could happen at Story Park and the community asset transfer that we might go through to transfer Story Park to the town council, so that the town can take a more proactive sort of view and so on in operating that building.
So things are progressing, but I suppose the message is be patient.
Well, it's always be patient, but things don't happen overnight, and as people will see, we've got a lot that's gone on. People have noticed that already. If you look at some of the parking studies that were conducted over the course of last autumn, for example, we've now got things that have been implemented by way of the various traffic regulations around the town. We've got Goose Hill School is now confirmed as moving. It got planning permission about a month ago now, and that will is scheduled to open next year. That will trigger then availability of the land there to use for something else, and it looks like that would be parking in the medium term at least. We've got new classrooms opening in Chantry Middle School in the course of a few months, really, at the other side of the school holidays. So a lot gone on already, and a lot more still that we've got to do, and I'm sure that people will be excited to see the progress that we're making.
The guys today after this.